We call the Board of Mayor Alderman meeting for Tuesday, September the 26th to order. Is Pastor Finley Cutshaw from Eastside Baptist Church in the crowd? Pastor Cutshaw. So at this time, then I'm going to ask that you please rise and rise for the prayer, remain standing for the pledge, and I'll ask Alderman David Reeves to lead us in prayer, please.
Thank you, Lord, so much for the opportunity to serve and for the opportunity, Lord, to have free democratic government, Lord, where we can show up here and we can make decisions on behalf of this community, Lord. I pray tonight, Lord, that you would give us wisdom. Give us wisdom in the decisions that we make. And I'm so thankful for our directors, Lord, and I'm so thankful for Shan Criswell and the service that she has put into our community. And tonight, Lord, I just pray that we make the right decisions. Lord, I pray that we deliberate in a way that is pleasing to you. And also, Lord, I pray that we would do right by our employees, Lord, in the decisions that we make. Be with us tonight, Lord, and bless this gathering and bless this body. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, will you read the future meetings into the record, please?
Family Assistance Commission, October 2nd at 6 p.m. Planning Commission, October 2nd at 7 p.m. Beer Board, October 3rd at 6 p.m. Bartlett Station Commission, October 4th at 7:30 a.m. City Beautiful Commission, October 5th at 6:30 p.m. and Industrial Development Board, October 5th at 7 p.m.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. As a custom, we recognize any scouts that might be in the crowd and do not recognize a lot of little ones, but no scouts out there. So we do have, I thought I saw our former CEO, Mark Brown, in the crowd. I want to recognize, yeah, he's on the back row back there. And he's moved from the front row to the back row, y'all. And Mayor, I'm sorry, Mayor, I didn't see you. You slipped in and see you. And Mayor Keith McDonald and his wife Patty, good to see y'all. And he's also slid somewhere in between the front row and the back row. This time we'll move to approval of the minutes. And item number 1, Madam Clerk, will you read that to the record, please?
Minutes of the September 12, 2023 Board of Mayor and Aldermen regular meeting.
Move we approve.
Properly motion and seconds. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, please go to your device and cast your vote, please. Minutes from September 12th passes unanimously. We move to the consent agenda, and 5 items. There's 5 items on the consent agenda. Any member of the board may remove any item for separate discussion and vote if they wish. Does any member wish to remove any item for discussion? Hearing none. Madam Clerk, will you please read the consent agenda into the record, please?
Item 1, purchase of 1 2023 Toyota Camry. Item 2, purchase of 3 2024 Chevrolet Malibus. Item 3, purchase and installation of emergency equipment in 8 new police vehicles. Item 4, purchase of camera equipment for police pursuit vehicles. Item 5, contract for ADA improvements, environmental and design services.
Chair would entertain a motion.
Move we approve.
Second.
Properly motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, please go to your device and cast your vote. While they're casting the vote, I understood that former Alderman Emily Elliott was in the crowd too, and I didn't recognize her. So Emily, I'm sorry. So you're looking good. So does anybody ever say a woman looks bad? I don't know. Anyway, the consent agenda passes unanimously. So now we move to new business. And at this time, I'd like Ms. Shan to come forward. Do we have, is the other mic down there, the handheld?
Yeah, I could probably use, Well, I can turn, because I'm going to look at the audience some too. Okay. Is this, yeah, it's on. Okay. When I started my journey here at Bartlett, and thank you, by the way, for being here tonight for my retirement. It's a little earlier than I planned, but I appreciate you all being here. When I started my journey, I never knew that I was going to be working with such an amazing staff, amazing people. They really helped me along the way, and they became more than just co-workers to me. They became a second family. And as I started at Singleton, it seemed like every time I had an interview or something like that, the right person would walk in the door. And we just built a team, and at Singleton it was great, and that continued. That continued when I was park director. Now Paul and I kind of claim we have the dream team. Our staff is so excellent. Every single one of them has their special gifts and unique abilities, and when you put them all together, there's not a whole lot they cannot accomplish. All we have to do is give them a vision or some sort of a direction and let them go. And usually they always exceed our expectations. When I started here, a long time ago, Bartlett was not the 11th largest city in Tennessee. It was kind of a small town, and we had 4 park employees. We had a few parks, we had a few ball fields, and we had Singleton. The program had already started with a prior facility manager who was there only about a year. So she started a few things, and then I continued on from there. But now the Parks and Recreation Department consists of 29 parks, 15 ball fields, 14 miles of trails, 14 tennis courts, 8 soccer fields, 5 multi-purpose fields. We have a pickleball facility now and a cricket pitch. So the facilities that we have include Singleton, which we had at the beginning, and then it also includes the Bartlett Recreation Center. Both of those have gymnasiums on them. Bartlett Recreation Center, of course, has the pool, the racquetball courts, and all of those things there. We have the Senior Center, lively bunch there. And we just acquired the Bartlett Station Municipal Center, and we've got lots of plans for that. So I'm really proud of where we've come. Bartlett Recreation takes care of 969 acres of land dedicated to parks and recreation. We now have 54 full-time employees and about 150 part-time, give or take the time of year, and utilize around 200 volunteers each year to help us run our program. So you see, we've kind of grown from 4 quite a bit. So it's been incredible. At Singleton Community Center, I was privileged to be able to sort of start the program and get it going. So I was able to dream up and start these classes, all these classes that we have, the programs that we have, and I started, I think it was 8 big park special events. So it was wonderful to watch Singleton grow from the very beginning to where it is now. So that was wonderful. As Parks Director, I was able to accomplish as Assistant Director, we put in the splash pad. And then I was able to see the different things come to pass. We got the chance to put a master plan together for Freeman Park. We got permission to do that. And we put that together, and I got to be in the planning stages of that. It was really exciting. And now we have the first 3 phases of that done. The road that goes around the park, and we have the 3 multi-purpose fields, the cricket pitch, a new restroom, and the A. Keith McDonald Pavilion is there too. We also were able to renovate 6 of our park restrooms. We put in a new restroom at Freeman Park and a pickleball facility. We're in the process now of finding out what Bartlett wants and putting together a big master plan, so it gives us the direction moving forward with what we need to do. Another thing the department did was we got benchmarked, and I'm saying we because it wasn't just me. It was my staff helping me to do this. We got benchmarked by the state of Tennessee, which means that you have to have practices in place that are called what they call best practices, so that you're following a certain guidelines. And that got us benchmarked in the state of Tennessee, and it allows us to get more grants that way. And it was great to see that accomplished. I also asked all of my managers to study for the test and get themselves certified, nationally certified. And we are almost 100% with that right now too, so we appreciate that. I did learn some lessons along the way. I learned to prepare for everything, because you hope for the best and you expect the best, and most of the time it does happen, but sometimes it doesn't go that way. I did learn not to involve cash in an Easter egg hunt. I got this great idea from another city who had done this before. They had a helicopter dropping eggs from the sky at an Easter egg hunt. What a great idea. So I go out and I get a sponsor for this who wants to give me cash, Piggly Wiggly. Well, I said, okay, we can have some dollars and some of the eggs along with the candy. That'll be okay. Little did I know, Piggly Wiggly was going to put a grocery ad out the week before the event that said, Bartlett will be dropping thousands of dollars from the skies at their annual Easter egg hunt. You can imagine the crowd control on that day. Oh, don't do that. I do want to thank Mayor McDonald, who is here tonight. I want to thank you for believing in me, mentoring me, and allowing me to serve as park director. I really appreciate that. And I want to thank Mayor Parsons, there you are, and Steve. I haven't been able to work with you. I'm having to leave a little early due to family circumstances, but I've really enjoyed working with you both, and I think the city is heading in a good direction. What Mayor McDonald did when he was here is he put together an excellent staff that I see out here. Every one of these division directors, they're fabulous. And the city is in a very good place. I feel the same about our department, and I do know that Paul Wright is the perfect choice to lead the department here on. I don't know if I can say that, but I did. To my staff, I want you to always strive for excellence. I see most of you here. What you do matters. Who you are matters. You may not change the world, but you bring your own uniqueness to the table, and it's only you that can do that. So as I leave this great city, I feel a peace tonight about leaving this city, because I know what direction it's headed, and I know what we've got here, and I know the whole city is in a great place. And I can't say more. I'm going to miss all of you terribly, but I'm still here, and I can volunteer. And so if you want to put me on a board someday or something like that, I'll be glad to volunteer with anything like that. Thank you all for 36 years of fun, camaraderie, and life-changing moments. Thank you.
In those 36 years, most of her tenure was under the watchful eye of Mayor McDonald. I just want to give you the opportunity to say something.
Well, thank you, Mayor. Shan is unique in many ways. She's an optimist always. She's done a wonderful job I happened to be on the Parks Board when she was brought in to do Singleton, happened to be a part of getting Singleton as a part of the city. And so we've known each other and worked together off and on for a long, long time. And you've always, even with the Easter egg hunts, you've always done a wonderful job, Shan. Thank you, and God bless you and your husband.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
So, Shan, we have a proclamation I would like to read and give you a key to the city. And for y'all that are here gathered to recognize Shan, that we're having a reception afterwards. That's what all the tables and stuff are there for. So please join us for that. I'd like to read this proclamation that they put in a very large folder. It's full of whereases and whatases, but it's time for that. Shan Criswell began her career in the community recreation as a pool manager at Wilmington. I think you just mentioned that. There's a year there, but I'll leave that off. She went on to earn her Bachelor of Science in Education with a major in Recreation Administration. There's another year there, and I'll skip it, from the University of Tennessee. In 1979, Shan became the director of the Geisman Community Center for the Memphis Park Commission, where she coordinated a wide variety of community and recreational activities. And Shan, they left out something very important in here, that she graduated from our Nicholas Blackwell High School.
I did.
So I want to bring that out. And then in April of 1987, Shan was named the facility manager for Singleton Community Center, and it was there that she began what would become a 36-year career for the city of Bartlett. As a facility manager, Shan supervised and coordinated many events, classes, programs for children and senior citizens. Shan's commitment and unmatched work ethic is offered with her opportunity to be appointed as Assistant Park Director for the city of Bartlett in November 2014. She was involved in all operational functions of Parks, Recreation Division, and maintained a good working relationship with all departments in the city. Upon the retirement of Parks Director in September of 2016, Shan accepted the position and the appointment as director for this department. Her love for Bartlett recreation and her abilities as a leader allowed her to oversee all programming, maintenance, operations, personnel, budget, training, marketing, and the list goes on and on and on. Now here it does say this, Shan. As a graduate of Bartlett High School in the class of 1994, Shan now was able to serve the city that she loved and had graduated school from. Shan is an avid runner, a Memphis of the Memphis Runners Track Club, and she participated in the 2013 New York Marathon with a time of 4 hours, 22 minutes, and 55 seconds. She loves to swim, exercise, travel, and spend time with her family, especially her husband, Terry, 3 children, 6 grandchildren. Shan and Terry are also involved in singing in a band together and riding motorcycles. As mayor of Bartlett, Tennessee, I hereby do proclaim September the 26th, 2023 is Shan Criswell Day in Bartlett, and I urge all citizens to join me in wishing Shan the very best in a well-deserved retirement. Shan has been a true asset to the city, its citizens, to everyone who has worked with her over the past 36 years. Her expertise, enthusiasm, and commitment to the very important job of providing quality recreational programs for citizens is to be commended, as I know that department and the city of Bartlett has benefited from her great success because of Shan.
Thank you.
Just another little plug for the Parks Department. Please join us this weekend for our annual Fall Festival. If you haven't been, you're missing a real treat there. It has grown, and all the facilities that she just talked about, from the pavilion and all that'll be out there, will be a great fun, and the weather's going to be nice. It's not going to be raining. So in the meantime, Shan, I want to present you with a key to the city of Bartlett.
Thank you.
So we want to thank you, and please join us afterwards in the lobby. Thank you, Shan.
Thank you.
As we move to new business, item number 1, Madam Clerk, will you read it into the record?
Appoint Paul Wright as interim director of Parks and Recreation.
There's no vote required. That's an appointment. So as we move to item number 2.
Appoint Paul Wright as interim director of Parks and Recreation.
I'm sorry. I was anyway, Shannon, we just can't get away from you. So read item number 2 into the record.
Appoint Paul Wright as interim director of Parks and Recreation.
Paul, that doesn't mean you get twice the salary. But I present Mr. Paul Wright as the interim director to the board, and would entertain a motion to approve.
Move we approve. Second.
Been properly motioned. Is there any discussion?
Yes, please.
Yes,
I have
sir.
a couple of questions, if I could. So there's a couple of things about this, but Paul's phenomenal, by the way. I've known him for a long time. How long's Paul been doing the job of assistant?
Some months.
How long's he been the assistant?
I'm sorry. He's acting, Paul was appointed, Keith helped me in that, probably 2 years ago. Does that sound right? I think about 2 years ago. January 2020. Thank you, Paul. Yeah. I knew who to ask next time.
And he's kind of been acting in the interim in Shan's.
For the last couple months, yes, sir.
So the question is, it's interim. How long is interim? And why are we making him interim versus permanent? And the reason why I'm going to ask that, when we were first elected, we were brought up to appoint a slate of directors. And we did it without the tag of interim to see if they were the right ones. We just knew, right? Is Paul Wright the right person to lead the department moving forward? If he is, why don't we just go ahead and make it permanent versus interim? If he is the right person, this is not going to change anything in terms of what happens in the future. So why is it interim versus permanent?
We have a lot of things, such as the master plan, that we'd like to get cleaned up. And there is a difference between an assistant and being a director. And we just want to make sure it's a good fit for the administration, it's a good fit for Mr. Paul. How long would it be? It'd be to January, the 1st of January. We just want to get the master plan and get a few things buttoned down.
And I appreciate that, Mayor. This hadn't really settled well, and the reason why it hadn't settled well with me is because he's been in the role a long time, and I feel like this signals something, and maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but, the reality is Lakeland just lost their Parks and Rec guy. He's heading to Las Vegas, right? There is demand for Parks and Rec directors, large demand. So my biggest concern is we're losing we could lose a great talent. If it were me, it would be problematic for me. I personally, Mayor, is he the right guy or is he not the right guy? And that's,
Well,
and my perspective is he is, but are we not ready to make that decision now?
Well, the difference between your position and mine is that you're going to go somewhere else to work tomorrow, and I'm going to come here to work. And we have to work with these employees. We have a good relationship going with Paul, and we decided this is the way we'd like to go.
Well, Mayor, my position is, and I'm elected just like you are, I think he's the right person. So I'm going to make a motion that we make him permanent and remove the interim title off of it. If the body says no, then they say no. But at least I'll be able to lay my head on the pillow tonight and feel right about it. So I'm going to make the motion that we remove the interim director off and make him the director of Parks and Recreation.
Are you making a motion to amend?
To amend it, yes.
Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I understand where you're coming from, David, but that is a decision that should be that of the mayors, not the aldermen. And I know you said we appointed all these directors to begin with at the first of the year, and they were all directors. Paul, and I don't mean anything against Paul, I think he's an outstanding young man and will do a great job, but he's an assistant director at this point. And when you take over the whole position, I think it's fair to evaluate and look where it's going.
Any more discussion? Madam Clerk, you put the,
We will be voting on the amendment to appoint Paul Wright as director at this point.
The amendment is to remove,
Is to appoint him as director of Parks and Recreation, is the amendment.
okay.
please go to your device and vote. Motion carries to deny by majority. The chair would entertain a motion to appoint Mr. Paul Wright as the interim director.
So moved.
That motion's already been made that was on the floor prior.
Okay, so is there a second for that?
Second.
Been properly motioned and second. Any discussion? Yes, ma'am. Ms. Monique.
I just want to have on record, I abstained because I haven't had the opportunity to meet Mr. Paul, and I do agree that I think he probably would do a great job in the position, but I haven't had the opportunity, so I just wanted to know I just feel like I had no, what is the word, the dog in his fight, or whatever, how that goes, but yeah.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to be recognized before we go to Alderman Griffin?
I'll just say that I agree with everything that Alderman Reeves said, but I also respect the mayor's right to appoint whoever he sees fit in the order in which he sees fit, and so I'll defer to that, and hence my no vote in this case, because I do believe Paul would make a great director, but I also respect the opportunity for him to be interim, to serve out that term, and be appointed in due season.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? No one else being?
You're voting to appoint Paul Wright as interim director of Parks and Recreation.
Motion carries unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you, board. Madam Clerk, will you read item number 3 into the record, please?
Appointments to Bartlett Arts Council. Eric Gott will be replacing Cameron Pitts. Donia Wade will be replacing Wanda Cheatham. Both terms expire September 30th, 2025.
We present these names before you tonight. Is Cameron Pitts and Wanda Cheatham in the crowd? If you are, please stand. We'd recognize you.
Eric Gott and Donia Wade.
I'm sorry. Eric Gott and Donna Wade, I'm sorry. Here we go. Thank you. Okay, good term to expire September the 25th. I present these names before you tonight.
Move we approve.
Second.
Properly motions. Any discussion? Hearing none, please go to your device and vote. Motion carries unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Gott, for your willingness to serve, and Ms. Wade, if you're listening. So, at this time, we move to open discussion. It's open to the board first. Does any board member have anything they would like to say? Alderman Breaking.
Go ahead, Brad.
I'd just like to say to Shan, thank you. I've known Shan a long time, and you're greatly going to be missed, and I hope we do call on you for volunteer, and we wish you the best, and you've done a great job, and you've been a great friend to our family, and we appreciate everything you've done.
I
Vice Mayor
too would like to just say thank you, Shan, for the years you put in with this city. We go back a long ways. Our daughters even played softball together, and I think you've done a tremendous job, and I just pray that going forward you'll enjoy your retirement and that things will get better. I know they've been difficult for you, and I pray they'll just get better. Thank you.
Alderman Quinn.
Shan, just want to thank you so much for everything you've done. It's been a pleasure working with you and spending time with you and learning about the parks, and you've really made them, the crown jewel of West Tennessee, I have no doubt. And it's a legacy. I mean, you've really left a legacy of things that people move here for and love, and just really want to thank you and hope you and your family enjoy your time off here. But please come back and volunteer. So, yeah, thanks.
Mr. Mayor.
Alderman Reed.
Well, first of all, I had the opportunity to spend a lot of time in the parks over the past 20 years, coaching football and doing things like that. And I will say this, if anybody wants to give credit, part of the meteoric rise of Bartlett High School football, Shan Criswell. She allowed us, and of course Mayor McDonald before that, allowed us to have a place to practice, a place to grow young adults and forge partnerships with parents who decided to stay here and who decided to have their kids in athletics, and very much bought into the vision, as did Mr. Paul Wright, who was very much on board with that as well. So I thank you so much. You've been a great part of the success of what's going on here, both of you, and your entire department. And Keith back there, who I just ran ragged for a lot of years. So sorry, man. I know I put some gray hairs on your head for sure, but thank you so much, and good luck in your retirement. Hopefully we'll see you a lot. Thank you.
Anyone else? Alderman King. Sorry, Alderman Griffin.
That's fine. Shan, I've counted you a friend for a number of years, and God knows how many miles we've run out there together, so I plan on seeing you again later this week, putting a few more miles out there in Summerdale. So I just want to thank you again for your service. It's been a pleasure to be on the Parks Commission with you, and I agree with you. The team that you've put in place, they're a dream team. All of them are wonderful to work with. They're all immensely talented, and you've left the city of Bartlett in very capable hands.
On a closing note, me and Shan started off on a rocky foot some years ago. Shan was made an honor in my wedding, and she was going to be my wife's roommate at University of Tennessee, and my wife said, I'm not going to University of Tennessee, I'm going to stay home and marry Brad. Shan said, it won't last 3 weeks. I don't know why you're giving up to go to college with me to marry this guy from Fraser. It won't last at all. So I don't understand it, Vicki. So she tried to talk my wife out of marrying me and going to college with her. But we did make it 48 years, Shan, and Shan and me are friends now. But at one time, she did not like me because she lost her roommate for college.
Thank you, Alderman King. I too want to thank you for all that you've done for our parks. I think it's one of our crown jewels here in Bartlett, and so thank you, Shan. I move to directors at this time. Before I do, you'll probably see the TV tonight. I just want to thank Jim Jaggers. He made his way through town today. He was at I think he started off at the high school at 8 and went to a lot of the schools and a lot of the businesses in here. And the comment I kept getting over and over, I went to Alteria down here, is that the folks in Bartlett are giving folks. So I want to thank our community. It's recognized in and around in our city and throughout this county, the heart and the desire y'all have to participate in some of these charitable events like that. So it was very good to see Jim come through Bartlett today. And so anyway, Jim, we thank you for all the hard work. Understand this will be his last run, and I can't even say the new guy's name, but it'll be taken, yeah. There we go. Tyler. It's the last name everybody has a problem with, ain't it? So they say on TV. Thank you, Brent. Thank you, Brent. So anyway, as we move to directors that would like to come forth this time, I'd like to ask our engineering department director, John Horn, to come give us an update on Old Brownsville Road.
So as you know, this project has been going on for a number of years, and so we are closing in on the finish line, getting close. So the projected completion date under contract for Farrell Construction is October the 9th. So APAC Paving, which is the subcontractor for Farrell, should be beginning paving within the next few days, begin the process of repairing a lot of patches along Old Brownsville Road, doing a lot of milling of the paving, and doing the final paving of Old Brownsville Road and the striping of Old Brownsville Road. So,
Thank you. Thank you, John. Okay, is there any other director wish to come forward? Seeing no one come forward, if any citizens completed the open discussion citizens forum prior to the start of the meeting, they may come forward, state their name and address for the record. The citizens have up to 3 minutes, at which time a buzzer will sound and they must sit down. The total time for open discussion is a period of 20 minutes. Anyone wishing to come forward at this time, please come to the microphone.
Hey, David. Good evening. I'm sorry. My name is Eileen Wilkes. My address is 6753 Rainer Creek Drive in the Rockyford subdivision. And I am here to state my confusion and anguish over several situations. We have a speed limit issue in the city of Bartlett. Many vehicles, personal, commercial, even city of Bartlett, do not follow the recommended speed limit, which is 30 miles an hour. And in residential areas, in most areas, it's 25. And my question is, what is the possibility of lowering the speed limit to 25 miles per hour in residential areas? And if that is not a possibility, when and how can we get increased police patrol so that people like myself that live on Rainer Creek, which is now the drag strip of Rockyford, next to Springtree, whoever lives on Springtree, can safely get in and out of their driveways, because it is literally a hazard. I almost was T-boned last week, and there are 4 different events where I was almost rear-ended, and I have to literally pull myself over to the side of the road, put my blinker on about 10 houses down so that they'll know I'm turning, so slow your rear end down. That's my main concern, because there's just, it's dangerous. The other day up near the Rockyford Lake, the kids were getting let off the school buses, and the people were driving like bats out of hell. That's the best way to explain it. It was insane. And there were a couple kids that had gotten off, and, kids, they're going to jump back to wherever they don't belong, and almost got hit.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's just ridiculous. It's just insane. My other point is the old Brownsville road construction, or New Brownsville. I've already been here once before about the new subdivisions being built. But it's obvious that nothing can be done about the design plan that was initiated with the city of Bartlett however long ago. But the intersection issues at Ellendale Road and Old Brownsville, the Springtree Road and Rockyford Road are major potential accident scenes. I know that as of, I think it was 2 days ago, the 4-way at Springtree and New Brownsville has been turned into a 2-way stop with the lanes going forward from New Brownsville.
Time.
And then still
Your time is up.
Ma'am?
Your time is up.
Okay. Anything you can do, please, for the safety and security of our people is appreciated.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else?
My name is Jeremy Winter. I live at 4935 Springtree. I live in the neighborhood with Miss Eileen. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Board of Aldermen. Tonight I'm here to voice my concern about the debacle that is taking place at the intersections of Kirby Whitten and Old Brownsville, Rockyford and New Brownsville and Springtree, which is my street. For the past 10 to 12 months, these intersections have been 4-ways. Now, as of yesterday, 9/25/23, New Brownsville does not stop at Springtree. The orange barrels all over Old Brownsville, New Brownsville, or whatever it is in the construction by the triangle over there. They've been there for a year. There's been signs up saying 4-way stop ahead on Kirby Whitten since last October. Those were finally moved, and now it's moved in front of my house. I have to draw my blinds so I cannot see the flashing lights at night. My neighbor directly that is affected by her, she's furious. She's not here because she's probably at Le Bonheur. Now that Spring Tree is the only 2-way stop, and New Brownsville does not stop, in the last 2 mornings, I've almost seen 4 accidents on my way to take my kids to school and go to work because people don't know what's going on. I've got more to go. I don't know what's going on. How long is this sign going to be up here in front of my house? The other one's up here for a year. Are we going to go for another year? I mean, that's horrible. Now, your fire department has a blind intersection of 45 miles an hour that has no stopway. Coming up north on Spring Tree, if they've got to go left on New Brownsville to go hit Rivercrest, they have no clue if someone's coming. And that's a 4-lane divided eventually. And they can't see because of the houses right there. It is an absolute disaster. When will the construction of the New Brownsville, Spring Tree, Rockyford, Old Brownsville intersections ever be completed? When will Rockyford Road between New Brownsville and Rayner Creek ever be expanded for all the other construction that's going on? We don't have answers. We'd like answers. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Anyone else? I'd just like to pause a minute and ask either John, either you or our traffic engineer, maybe just address a couple of these concerns at Spring Creek and Old Brownsville. And answer those questions about the signs and how long.
Sure, I just want to say I do understand the concerns and would love an opportunity to talk to each of you individually. Some of y'all have emailed me. Been out of town, haven't had a chance to respond to you, but I would like to do that, whether particularly in person, and even go out and meet with you if you'd like to do that with myself, our assistant city engineer, and our transportation engineer. So if y'all give us the opportunity to do that, to meet with you, we'd love to do that and answer maybe some more specific questions if you've got some more of those, and not just let it end here, whether it's regarding a potential 20-mile-per-hour speed limit sign in some areas. I think you mentioned something about the flashing lights, some of that. And sure, and I know that with construction, and this is one of the largest projects we've ever conducted in the city, that there's obviously a lot of change in your neighborhood, and with this widening project, and with this road project. Just I'll try to be brief. This alignment of Old Brownsville Road has been on our major road plan since 1996. The construction plans for this project, the way it's being built and the way it's going to be completed, the design was finished in 2019, so a lot of that has been public record to get comment, but I understand maybe some folks may not have had a chance before now until you really see it and see how it affects you to be able to comment on that. As a part of this process, we as a city, anytime we design a road, whether it is the alignment of the road, the sight distance, or I'm going to use a word, traffic control devices, whether that's a signal, a new signal like the one we've got at Bartlett Boulevard in Navajo, or a stop sign is also considered a traffic device. The design engineers that design these for our cities have to be extremely careful that they follow guidelines, not that they make up, but these are all based on traffic volumes. These are also based on safety and on design speed. And so the current configuration, the location of the stop signs at at Old Brownsville and New Brownsville, the stop signs at Rocky Ford and New Brownsville, the stop sign configuration at Spring Tree, Old Brownsville, and at Ellendale also at Billy Mayer are all set based on traffic volumes, safety, and efficiency. And now one thing that we're going to do as we've got these installed, we're going to continue to monitor the traffic volumes in those areas. And if y'all would like, we'll be happy to report back to you those volumes. And if something needs to be changed, then we're definitely open to making that modification, but it's only going to be based on safety. And all these criteria that determine the placement of stop signs are all based on safety and conducting the most safe right-of-way that we can for our citizens. But we will be doing those traffic volumes reporting over the next couple of months, and be happy to report the results to this board and to any of you as well. So,
Is there happen to be is there a homeowners association out there active that you know of? Okay. All right. At this time, I'd like to invite our police chief. I think he's down. I can't see him. Jeff Cox, Chief Cox, could you maybe address this the speeding issue on?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. We understand that because the traffic control devices have switched over the last couple of days into a two-way stop, it's going to cause some confusion, and it may cause some traffic jams, and especially with the Halloween season coming up. As we know, that's Halloween Cove, and so we have recently moved traffic division down in that area. It is a large area, so you may not see them, but they're there, and they're going to be enforcing the traffic laws and also making sure those intersections are safe. It slow people down so they know they're two-way stop now, and the through traffic does not stop. And so you should see those. If you don't, you can always email me. Anybody can call. They can go on the magnet and file those times that they're having troubles, and we'll take care of all the problems that they have.
Yes, ma'am. And I think you were specific talking about speeding on Rainer Creek. We can increase.
Yes,
Chief.
sir.
Yes, ma'am.
We literally put locks on our fences to keep our dogs safe so that they can't push it open.
Yes, sir. We'll
I mean, our kids we've lived in Rockford since '98. We lived in Bartlett since '94. But I'm terrified for people who have small children. And they could run out. I mean, kids run out in the street all the time. Kids across the street riding their four-wheelers up and down the street. But, you know it?
you know,
Yes, ma'am.
what we can do, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
We'll put some signage down there and try to monitor those times. And also, if you see anybody riding four-wheelers on the streets, if you could just call our non-emergency number and let us know, we'll have a district car immediately come out and check those, and our times are pretty quick on that. So, you know, it just takes, we just need people to, if they'll just let us know and call when they see an issue or call when they see a violation, we'll get out there. But we will be monitoring. We'll have some traffic out there, and we'll have some traffic control devices that will help for us to pinpoint those speeds and times.
Thank you, Chief. So, that concludes the board meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn? Been properly motioned and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So this concludes the board meeting. For those staying for the reception for Shan, if you just go to the lobby and kind of make your way to the right, Mayor McDonald, I'd ask if you could meet us out there and say a blessing before we go to the food portion of that.